Hey YouTube, it's your fave Bree, and today we're gonna talk about how I got pregnant and tried to hide from everybody, but epic fail because people already know. Some people already know. So I was about 17. No, I was not 17. Let me stop lying. I was 18. I was 18 when I got pregnant. So I was still in high school, senior year or whatever. And every day I used to see my baby daddy after school. Like, I was attached to his ass. Like, still today, we together right now. I was attached to his ass, like white on rice. Like, two pieces of paper glued together, attached to his ass. So every day I used to see him after school, senior year. I used to take that bus, go see him, spend a night, whatever. And yeah, like literally, like it was basically like my second home. I used to stay with his ass, sleep with his ass. I used to spend a night, then next day go to school or whatever. Like, when you're young, you get to being dumb, and then you start getting attached to boys. It's like all you think about is boys. And especially if you're in a fucked up situation in your own personal life, you're going to be thinking about boys. If your mama ain't love you, if you ain't getting that love from your mama or your daddy, you're going to be trying to find that love from somebody else. And that's what I did. I was looking for that love from somebody else, and I was finding it at home. So that's why I was so attached, because if I'm not getting it at home, I'm going to get it from somewhere else. So yeah, his house was basically my house. His mama was cool and all that. She was okay with the shit. So yeah, the day I got pregnant, I don't even want to tell this story, but anyway, it's oh well. Yeah, the day I got pregnant, whatever, it was planned. And then I wasn't even like, I don't know. I wasn't even, sure for it, because after that was planned. It was like before that we even tried, and it didn't work out. So I wasn't even like, I don't know. I just doubt in my mind that I was not pregnant at all. Like, cause we didn't already try it already. I didn't even know for sure that it was gonna work for real. So yeah, I remember we went to I was like feeling these little symptoms or whatever. Like, I was throwing up, my back was hurting, all this. Like, y'all know the symptoms. Like, if you had a child before, you know the symptoms of when you first time getting pregnant. I just remember one time, his mama had she had made some chicken, and it was like this smell that was making me nauseous. And then I remember one time I was like, cause when I was at his house, anyways, when I was at his house, I was just there to be with him. Like, when he gone or like with his friends or whatever, I'm just always stuck in a room. Like, I will never come out the room to, like chill with his mom. But she used to force me to like chill with her in her room, watch TV and all that, talking all that. So yeah, I was just always that girl that just always been in the room. Like, and he just come home, I just be all up on him or whatever. So yeah, I was just that girl that was just always in the room until he come home or whatever. But yeah, I just remember one time she had made some chicken and some rice or whatever, and I just remember the smell was just making me nauseous. Then I actually ate some of the food, and I threw that shit right up. And I had texted this one, I'm like, I threw up all over your floor. And I remember using some towel, and I was wiping that shit up, because I'm trying to hide it. I wasn't going to tell her, because she didn't even know I was pregnant. But yeah, I was in the room eating, and then I had ate the food she had made, and it made me throw up. And I remember, like, she always cooked me food, and I never threw up from that shit. But that time, all right, what was I in the story? Where I said, where I was at? But I said, I ate her chicken, threw up or whatever. So then I had texted him, I had told him, it was like, I think I'm pregnant or whatever. So then the next day we went to Walmart, got a little test, came back to the house and then I peed on the stick. And it said positive. Like, I wasn't even sure if it was positive, negative, or none of that. I just know. Then I had to do my research and it said positive. But yeah. Found that I was pregnant or whatever. Hid it. I don't even remember if I was like showing or whatever like that. But then again, I kind of regret that I was pregnant at a young age. Because I don't have any pictures when I was pregnant. Didn't have no baby shower, none of that. But because I was trying to have it, and plus I didn't even tell my family. I didn't tell my daddy. I didn't tell my mama. I didn't tell nobody. And this was around the time I wasn't even at home. Because like I said, if you ain't finding that love at home, then you won't find it somewhere else. So yeah, I wasn't even at home. I was basically living at my boyfriend and his mama. So yeah. I kind of regret that I was pregnant young because no pictures, like I said, no baby shower, no none of that. And people found out in the last minute. So, after that, I was having it for, I feel like I was like 6 months at a time, like 5 months at a time. And then I remember one time my daddy, he had texted me trying to get in contact with me. And I was like, guess what? And he was like, you pregnant? He was like, you pregnant? And I was like, yeah. He told me something, I already knew. I don't know how the fuck he knew, but he claimed that he knew. And then I had went back home or whatever. And plus, it was situations going on at his house. And then went back home to my mama's house. He moved in with us until it was time for me to give birth. And yeah. Oh yeah, one time we was at his, because when we was at his mama's house, they had little family situations going on. And one of her husband family, she was like, oh, you pregnant? This. Like, girl, calm the fuck down, because his family, his mama husband family was living upstairs. Like, it was a bunch of their ass. Cousins, aunties, nephews, grandmas, all their ass. All his family was living upstairs. All his mama boyfriend family was living upstairs. Husband, whatever. They was living upstairs, and they was ghetto. They was ghetto ratchet as hell. Like, I ain't like that shit. But it's like, I like the ghetto because, you know, it's like, it felt like home. But when you start being loud and ghetto, come on now. Be for real. But yeah, she was calling me up talking about, you pregnant and all this and that. A whole lot of people asking me, you pregnant? And I don't even talk to these people for real. So yeah, it was a little situation going on at his mama's house. Then we went to my mama's house. And then people want us to start play nice or whatever in your face. Talking about some, oh, come back home. And then want to start banning all this stuff. And at the time, I didn't even have no job. So I was just wondering, like, how I'm going to take care of this baby? I ain't had no job, no baby shower, no clothes, no none of this. So that was another reason why I was like, I'm kind of young and I'm getting pregnant. And like, I didn't doubt the baby. I didn't doubt my child. It was just that I had it at the wrong age. At first, when I was pregnant, I wasn't thinking about none of that shit. But it's like, it was time for the due date. And it was like, nobody didn't even want to help for real. Like, people were trying to act like they care, and people did not care, if you get what I'm saying. So then, around the time when I was due, I remember one time we was on my bed, we was talking or whatever. And I remember the night before, my mucus plug came out, and I didn't even realize that it was a mucus plug, because it was like, you know, regular sperm color with a little bit of red. I didn't know it was my mucus plug, so then I slept on that shit. And then the next morning, I remember it was like, early in the morning, it was like 9 o'clock, something in the morning. And me and my boyfriend was talking, and I was like, oh, I gotta pee. I got up, all that water came out. What they call that? Oh yeah, my water broke. All that stuff came out. And I was like, what the hell? And then a couple minutes after, we had got an Uber. I had called my mom, and she was like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm finna call off work, and I'm finna meet y'all at the hospital. We had went to the, I ain't finna tell y'all where I got birth, where I gave birth. But anyways, we had went to the hospital, whatever. And then a couple minutes after that, I started feeling contractions or whatever. Took an Uber all the way there. Them contractions was hell. Like, it's like your stomach was squeezing and then it was like letting go, squeezing, letting go. Had contractions or whatever. Got there to the hospital. I was in the hospital bed. Everybody was coming. My uncle came. My daddy came. My mama came. Her boyfriend was there. All that stuff. It was just a lot of people. My sister came. Because my sister was pregnant around the same time I was too. We was like, I think 3 months apart. Yeah, I think we had our child like 3-4 months apart. And yeah, I was at the hospital. I just wanted to get this shit over with. I had epidural. They had stuck epidural in my back. They said that time I said, oh, you're not gonna feel any pain. The whole time I felt that shit. I had to get epidural for no freaking reason. Cause I felt all that. Like when I was pushing, I felt all that shit. But I'm glad I ain't had no C-sections. Like not going towards the mothers with C-sections and all that. Kudos to y'all, but I did not want no C-section at all because I did not want my stomach to be scarred for life. But yeah, I had gave birth, felt all that shit. And I forget how long they said I was in labor. It's written on a piece of paper somewhere in this apartment. But yeah, I was in labor for a long freaking time. And yeah, she finally came. I didn't even get to hold my child. I didn't even get to see her until like after everybody else done saw her. Because the doctors was pushing blood up out my stomach. Like they was just putting pressure. They was just squeezing it out. They was like, ugh. And I was just like, all that shit hurt. They talking about, we got to get all this blood out. And I did not know your placenta was like, what the fuck, healthy, or it cost a lot of money for your placenta. And I just gave my placenta away. I was just so mad. So if y'all pregnant, if y'all young and pregnant and y'all don't know this, keep y'all placenta. Do your little research on that. But yeah, I didn't even get to see my child or none of that. Until everybody else got to see her. Because at first, they was like, my boyfriend was like, she wasn't breathing. She was just looking around. I mean, she was breathing, but she was just, she didn't take her first breath until she was still in the little bubble. The little, what they call that? The little bubble that they in, and they had popped in, and he said she was breathing right after that. So, yeah. And then, what I was going to say? Yeah, they was taking the blood up out of me right after. And then, yeah. And then the doctor was sitting there talking about some poop in this little thing so they can examine my poop. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. Like, for what? I know the reason now, but it was like, I'm not going to do that. I'm perfectly fine. I am okay. And then, after that, it was a couple days after, they was giving us some bogus ass food. I remember my mom had given me KFC after that. After I gave birth. Like right after I gave birth. Because I was like, I'm cold. I kept shaking and all that. They was like, yeah, it's because you was losing all that goddamn blood. Yeah, I lost a lot of blood. And then I remember they had me hooked up to this little machine. Not this machine. They had me hooked up to, I forgot something. They had made me numb to where I couldn't feel that I was peeing. It was like, oh, you peeing in this bag. And I couldn't even really feel if I was peeing for real or not. But yeah. After that, couple days later, it was time to leave the hospital. And then nobody want to buy my baby no car seat. Because, like I said, I didn't have no job. I didn't have none of this shit. And people wanted to act like, oh, they care and all this. People were trying to figure out who's going to buy a car seat. Then nobody want to put no money up their ass for a freaking car seat. So that's why I was like, fuck family. That's why I'm like, fuck family now. Because it's like, situations like this, y'all want to act like, oh, we love you, we love the baby, we want to take care of the baby and all this and that. And really, y'all don't. Because when it's time for shit like this to happen, don't nobody want to come through. And only my boyfriend and mama came through. She paid for the car seat with no problems, with no issues. None of my family did. But yeah, after that, it's like after that we got home, took care of the baby. It was kind of hard. And then I was trying to breastfeed too. Barely any breast milk came out. And then I just went to a formula. And plus, she didn't even want to latch on to the, to the boob. And then I had got the little pumping machine thing. Barely knew it came out, so then I switched to epidural and all that. And yeah, she 5 years old now. And me and my boyfriend still together. But yeah, that's the story time of when I got pregnant at the age of 18, had her at 19. Yeah, I was 18 when I got pregnant, had her at 19. And now I'm 24, and she's 5 years old right now. I mean, yeah, still with the baby daddy. And that's the end of the story time. So make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know if y'all want another story time. Bye.